the sessions. I'll record it also. So regarding the end-to-end implementation projects, right? So when we are talking about, yes, I have worked in a, we updated our CV also as a SAP end-to-end implementation consultant, and so we have some experience, right? So that nowadays there are so many openings is going on. Who have the more than 3 to 4 years of experience. So who have the experience, so your profile also, once you updated your CV also, going to be, people will consider. So we cannot, so everybody is expected, yes, we need to update your CV as a, implement in end-to-end implementation projects, right? So definitely we will assist you. So maybe some of them you are applying the job, you are getting the calls also, and still we have our own format also is there. So for how we can able to prepare your CV. So how many pages your CV should be there? Okay, and what are the content, right? As the implementation project, so what are the roles and responsibilities, right? So when you are involved in a S4 HANA implementation project, so what are the roles you performed, right? So so we will start about the preparation phase. So we have the preparation phase, what do we do, and before that, so in SAP S4 HANA, so what kind of methodology they are using to implement, right? So we know everyone S4 HANA we are using activate methodology, and whereas in our SAP ECC, so we have the ASAP methodology. So what is the difference between ASAP methodology and what is the difference between the activate methodologies? So so here the difference is like so generally for ASAP methodology we know we have the 5 phases. So when it comes to activate methodology, so SAP they have given start with your project preparation, right? So we can say that is a preparation phase, right? So preparation phase, so what we do, so during the preparation phase, what are the activity as a consultant, so we have done, right? So start with start with
Anush sir, are you sharing screen?
yeah, let me share.
Sir, there will be discover phase, no, sir, in activate methodology, the first one.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I think whoever is joined recently, see today there is a the basis team they are working in the server. So I think today we couldn't able to log in. So they are working in the server. So they are trying to do the backup and everything. So we have to wait again tomorrow also. So they will send a mail. So till the time, so we can hold, or we have another server also. So maybe we'll discuss how we can able to plan, so alternatively also. Okay. So because already we have done the configuration in one more server, again we back to the new server, but still I don't know something, they are telling some system couldn't able to, they are also working on that. So basis team they are working on that, they send a mail. So let's see today evening will come, maybe tomorrow will come to know the server where we can able to use it, or any backup we can able to use it and all that. Okay. So today what we planned the session is like uh, mm, 1 second, if you don't mind. So maybe today for the interview point of view, so I'm just have a one session. So how we can able to prepare our CV. So the CV point of view still we have a time. So if you anybody wants, I need to update the CV. Please let us Shrikant. So he will assist you. So we will share the the sample CV of implementation project deliverables. So like hope everyone. So here, so they are going to put some 3 to 4 years experience in SAP, maybe or SD, FIPP consultant role here, right? So before that, so we need to update our CV uh, in as a professional way. So we need to prepare your CV. So which contains at least minimum we need to make it 4 to 5 pages is sufficient. So no need to make it more pages. So every project we can keep it 1 pages. Okay. So in this page as a S4 HANA implementation project, maybe you can put as a current project as a end-to-end implementation project, right? You can add it. So which client you want to put it, so that is also you can able to add it. And maybe you want to add it as a Rizayat client as a implementation project, or whether you want to update as a any, maybe currently you are working with some company, you want to continue with the same project, maybe it is a support project, So one second. Sorry. Okay, so here, yeah, so as I told you, like the implementation point of view. So as a end-to-end implementation project, so how we need to update our CV, right? So so implementation project, we know. So what are all the phases, and so which phases you worked, whether you have worked in the complete end-to-end implementation project, start with till end, or maybe you worked with the I mean you worked in uh, configuration phase. Maybe you started your project from the configuration. So before configuration, the activity has been completed by your maybe you can say that is your senior consultant, right? So you can maybe he involved in all the explore phase. One second. Okay, so you need to suppose you involved in the configuration phase, right? So I was involved. So prior to that, so that taken care by my senior most consultant. Maybe he is into SDMM PP, FICO consultant, right? So like that you can able to update. So you can tell Srikant, so I want to update my CV. So from the configuration phase I want to update, and I don't want to be in the the preparation phase, or we can say the discover phase or project preparation phase. So then we can able to update the current implementation project, so we can update those phases which deliverables. Okay, so why we are asking, so suppose they will say that okay, how regarding the blueprint point of view, what all the challenges you have faced. So anyway, we will discuss one by one, so that you can able to take a call. So whether you want to put it, the complete end-to-end cycle in the implementation project as a first project. So I'm expecting, so everybody put it that is as a current project. Okay, so then we will put additional project like the support project, everything we will put as a second, third, and fourth projects. Okay, so that's the first point. And now we talk about the implementation project. We know what all the deliverable currently we are working, right? So what all the, as a consultant, right, in the implementation project, what are the roles and responsibilities we have, right? So when we are involving in the let's say the discover phase. So mostly discover phase, what will happen? So this is like the completely, so the business process, right? So mostly the project management team, so they will be involving. So regarding the what all the business process currently they have, right? So this is like one kind of the high level process. So they will identify, so what all the process currently they have. So those discussion will be there in the discover phase. And so like how so how many systems currently they have. For example, they have e-promise systems, or they have Oracle system, or they have any JD Edwards, right? So these are all the systems. So how the system is currently is functioning. So are they are going to maybe do they have any inventory management with JD Edwards or Oracle system, or maybe they are going for WMS warehouse management, they are going for like complete inventory. So they are going with a different system. So these are all the discussion will be there, and based on that, so they are going to design the solutions, right? So then there is a, then they are going to prepare the project timelines, right? So then they will come to know, okay, so these are all the scope actually in the project. So when we talk about S4 HANA, so yes, so currently they have let's say the procurement separate system, and inventory they have separate system. So but when it comes to S4 HANA, they are going to replace those into SAP S4 HANA. So then we will plan the project timeline. Okay, so this is mostly as a PMO activities in the discover phase. So when it comes to the preparation phase, right? Preparation phase, it's completely as a consultant, right? So when we already discussed, right? So what are the roles and responsibility as a consultant they do in the preparation phase. Okay, so preparation phase we knows actually we talk about the project organization structure, right? So we know. So when the first day you are enrolling for the project, implementation project. So we'll come to know the industry first, right? So what kind of industry we are going to give the projects, right? So whether the industry belongs to manufacturing, or the industry belongs to retail industry, or the industry belongs to manufacturing, or construction based industry, or whether this is like any we can say like any automotive industry, or whether any kind of pharmaceutical industry. So this, that is more that first we should know, right? So that should be the the initial project preparation phase. We will should know the complete projects, so then only we can implement. So what all the best practices will be applicable for that particular industry, right? So then we have the so
Danu sir,
yeah, you can
can
go
we
ahead.
ask questions in between while or else only after the class we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the.
So after maybe just for 30 minutes, so then you can noting down, you can ask one by one question, no problem. So give me 30
Okay.
minutes, I'll finish first so that everybody will be in the same line. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So preparation phase, yes, as a consultant, so we are understanding the complete org structure. So we complete about the high level org structure. Okay. So we can say about the landscape. We can come to know the organization structure of the current client customer. So how many divisions they have. So what all the divisions we are going to implement. What all the divisions. It should be like a phase one, phase two. So like that. Even the phase one, so they might be have some kind of functionality. Let's say there is a diesel example I'm telling. So there is a diesel is there. So when they are going to consume the diesel to that particular the vehicle, so they wants to automate those process. So maybe are we going to do as a first phase. So these are all the discussion will be there, right? So then we have the kickoff meeting. So that is a generic, has a we know what we do in the kickoff meeting, right? So these are all the, again, somebody will asking, tell me about kickoff meeting. So what we do, so what is your roles in that? So it's nothing but just a introduction. So we'll talk about, yes, let's say yeah, so like let's say hi Adhias, he is have more than 7 years experience in SAP SCM consultant. So he have various experience in so many industries. He have a good experience in pharmaceutical industries. He have a good experience in automotive industries. So see, this is like the PMO point of view. They are going to talk about our consultant, right? So that will be happening. So apart from that, you come to know that. So the project management point of view, so some of them will be in USA, some consultant from UK, or some of them from India, or KSA. So here, so here, we are come to know who are all the consultant, and each and every module who are the consultant is going to implement the implementation projects, right? So that as a kickoff meeting. So plus there is a IT team. So as we discussed, so IT team is there. So every organization, if you go, there is a IT team will be there, right? Already they have the IT team. So maybe they are going to use the same IT team for SAP, or maybe IT team will be for SAP they have separate IT team. So for other they have a one second. Okay. So for other activities, like let's say they have we called as a different ERP system, or different system currently is executing. So they have a different IT team, right? So we know, so SAP or non-SAP kind of IT environment will be there. So we come to know who are all the from IT team, right? Who is lead of MM. So who is as a consultant, to whom we need to report. So as a consultant, so suppose tomorrow you want to talk about anything about the business requirement, anything about the you know uh, to understand the customer requirements and everything. So you should communicate through IT team, right? So every module there is a consultant. So they have different destination. You can talk about, maybe they are a SAP functional consultant, or they called about their also designation will be the same, right? MMSD or FIPP, like that. So so we will come to know who is the your counterpart, right? So to whom you need to communicate, right, for the business requirements and all. So this will be the discussion will be there. I mean, so then third one, there is a business team. So this business team is more important actually, right? So because one more thing, the challenges is here, the consultant is the business team. So they know their local languages very well. So communication wise, they'll be quite challenging will be there for us, right? And we cannot talk about like how we are talking as same language we cannot be used. so they might not be understanding, or they will feel, think that okay, this guy is talking like that, so they'll expect some respect also. That is the reason, so we are routing through IT team. So IT team will be responsible for everything. So you are, if you are submitting your BBP, so IT team is going to be, review, and finally they are going to get the sign off also from the business, right? So again, so these are all the things you have to tell. So these are all the challenges was there. So when hey, we are implementing with let's say Hedgehog, or maybe any project, when you talk about any customer, so like a Rizayat. So yes, I was involved in the blueprint phase. In the blueprint, so we have it was like a 3 months activity. So even though we tried to complete it again, multiple reviews. So what are the reviews you might be getting in the blueprint? So anyway, I'll tell you one by one, right? Okay, so now we talk about the kickoff meeting. So we understand about the PMO from implementation company, let's say Accenture or IBM. If you are working, we can talk about, yes, currently I'm working with so and so IT company, but this is our PMO team. So my team size is, again, that is more important. So before that, we need to know, so how many module you guys are implemented, right? So when we are talking about the construction, so definitely we know procurement should be there. So definitely there is a sales and distribution module. So then we have a finance and controlling. So we have a production. Yes, why a construction company production PP model involves, so that you need to answer for that, about those kind of production divisions, what they do, so that you need to answer. So then there is a PP and QM, and you can say plant maintenance. So what is the role of plant maintenance? And then we can say about project system, right? So so we can, then we have a ABAP team. So we have a Fury consultant is there. So we have a basis team. So we, so like that, you need to talk about at least minimum 15 members of team you have to build it. So before you're talking about anything about the project team, so you should know, you have to write down, okay, we have a MM, we have SD. So are we, so only for MM one consultant or two consultants? So that is another question, right? So you can mention maybe one to two consultant. So some module maybe only one consultant. We'll talk about PPQM. So there is a one consultant. So when there is a logistics, they have a MM, they have two consultant SD. So you can also fill it. Okay. So it's not mandatory. You need to put it MM 3 or 4 like that. So you can fill it 1 to 2. So where there is a single consultant, there is a limited roles are there. So we can put it as a single consultant also. So this is more important actually. The team size, when you're talking about your teams, the modules you involved, that is more important. And when you talk about the modules, so you have to explain about the roles of the module actually, right? So then people will feel that, oh, he come not only his modules, he understand about other module also. Like for example, there is a plant maintenance is there. So what is the plant maintenance they do, right? So generally there is a result, there is a garages is there, right? So we talk about garages. So garages is completely for the repair and services, right? So when there is a equipment, right? So we know, so they have a, currently they have a equipment, I mean asset department. So they have a heavy equipment department, right? So these two department is completely for the the heavy the vehicle. They are going to procure the transport vehicles. So they are procuring the heavy equipment for the project. So for these two equipments, they are going to do the repairs and services, right? So for the garages, everyone know, right, what currently they have. There is a big we can say the sheds where at a time there are we can say maybe around 25 to 50 vehicles will be there, and they will do the kind of services and everything. So what are the activity they do, right? So garages they do, so all the spares and consumables materials will be there. So they have the planning, so they have the reorder point planning. So they need to procure the all the spares and consumable everything. So then based on that, they are going to procure the asset. Then they are going to transfer the asset from that vehicle from one location to project site, right? We talk about the projects. So they have, let's, you can talk about, they have 100 plus projects. So they have a road project, they have mechanical project, they have bridges, they have a constructions, right? So commercial buildings. So we can say these are all the type of projects they have. And the roles of PM module. So about the importance of the garages, right? So same thing like a production planning module also. So currently they have a fabrication units, and currently they have a we can talk about there is a crushers, right? Crusher is nothing but where we do the manufacturing of the big the aggregate materials, right? So it's nothing but like there is a I mean there is a kind of rocks. So they used to get the rocks, and that they have to put it in that big machines. So there is a we call it as a production lines. So various production lines, maybe 3 to 4 production lines. So based on the the sizes of the cutting, so with in the aggregate material is going to be different, right? So how the aggregate works, right? So then they used to get the land from lease land from the government, and maybe the land will be for 25 years or 50 years or 99 years. So based on that they are going to the government is get the quarry approval, and based on that they are going to execute the crushes and everything, right? So what they do, so here there is a production team, so they are going to completely they are going to manufacture of the aggregate material. So they are selling the material to in-house as well as they are I mean like an internal project as well as the external customer also. So then rest of the part, that's sufficient. If you are into PP, then you can talk about what type of planning you are implementing. So what kind of business process you are executed, so that you can able to go into straight away you can go there. Okay. So now as I explain about the modules or explain about the business divisions. So you can explain about each and every division. There is asphalt. Asphalt is another manufacturing where road and construction, right? So where there is a applying the asphalt in the road. So where there is a bitumen material, we know, right? The tar material, and there is aggregate material, then there is additional chemical. So these are all the mixture of they are applying in the road and getting the project is going to be completed. So this is like a a production planning point of view, right? So then we know the fabrication material, what kind of what are the different type of fabrication they do, right? And what are the what type of process they are executed, and these orders will be coming from our project as an internal customer, or maybe they are getting from outside also, right? So these are all the story also you can able to explain about the PP point of view, right? So then we know procurement. Yes, so procurement is completely for the project procurement, like whenever the project is requesting any material. So for example, there is a project specific material, right? So when the project belongs to, there is a commercial complex, so there is a everything, right? So we know the sand, we know the raw material of cement, and that uh, uh, so other electrical material, plumbing related oriented, so all mechanical related. So these are all the material, right? So we used to procure. So as a point of view, this is for project procurements. Apart from that, there is a garages. So as I told you, garages is also we have a kind of, so spares and consumables, right? So as I told you, in garages we have the uh, uh, hmm, yeah, so there is a heavy equipment vehicles, and there is a transport related vehicles. Okay, both are assets, but we called as a equipment, right? Because maintenance point of view, we need to create as a equipment in plant maintenance, right? So wherever the transport vehicle or heavy equipment is moving, so we need to track it. We need to update the functional location, right? Every project is one of the functional location, and garage is also one of the functional location. So we need to configure it in our SAP system. We need to track it, complete all the heavy equipment and transport vehicles, right? Okay. So I think I explained about all the modules. So when we go to that the scope document, yes. So we received the the business scope document, right? So we everyone knows about the scope document, each and every module. So what are the business requirements, right? So again we can able to talk about the business. Already you explained about the division, right? So how many divisions, I mean, currently they have. So you can talk about the the business process about each and every division. So you can talk about the RITCO. So there is IT team, what are the type of procurement they have, right? So when we talk about you know uh, uh, there is a RITCO, right? So RITCO is the one of the IT divisions. So we created as a one of the plant in our SAP system, and so what they do. So we have a, you can talk about like a company code. So we have a 4 company codes, we have 5 company codes, or we have 7 company codes. So we can say there is a Safami, that is one of the manufacturing unit. They created as a separate company code. So there is a aggregate, there is a crusher, right? The crusher manufacturing unit we created as a separate company code. They have a 3 different business unit in the crusher. And then there is a asphalt, there is a road construction based, we have a separate the manufacturing unit for the asphalt manufacturing. So they keep the procuring the asphalt, I mean procuring the bitumen, they procuring the the aggregate materials and other chemicals also. They are going to completely working for the asphalt related projects, right? So that is another divisions. So this is one of the company codes, right? So then we can talk about the construction. There is a Jaya, general contracting. So this is the so one company code. So under this company code we are going to execute all the projects, right? So currently they have 100 plus projects. So we consider every project as one of the plant. So why we created as a plan? So because this project is not a short-term project, so it's a very long-term project. They want to track the inventory, they want to track the cost. So in this case, so we can, we propose that, finally we propose that we create as a every project as a one of the plant in SAP system, right? Okay, so yeah. So next, yeah, the scope document, right? So we talk about the scope document. So every division, so what is the business requirement? So maybe you might be received very little scope, but when you talk about the interview point of view, you can talk about every divisions, what all the, so what all the activity they do, right? So we already discussed about the general contracting is one of the divisions, and we talk about we called the fabrication. Safam is one of the manufacturing unit, that is one of the division, one of the company codes. And we talk about crusher is one of the business unit or one of the company code. Asphalt is one of the company code. So like that, we segregated the business unit, right? So every business unit, what is the business process they have, right? So that is what we are expecting to prepare the BPML process, right? So in BPML, so we have given as a generic process, but now when it comes to the testing, right? When it comes to the test script, so we are asking everyone to prepare the test script, right? So the test script should be the division wise. So division is nothing but company codes, right? So every company code, what are the business process? For example, Resire general contracting. So what are the divisions they have? So they have all the projects will be comes under the resort. That is one type of division, subdivisions. So under that they have the catering. So catering is one of the subdivisions, right? So they are going to there is a separate department. They are working for the food and the restaurant kind of activity they are taking care. So they are procuring all the provision, I mean all the kind of food items, so fruits, vegetables and other provisional items, and they are going to it's like a completely, it's a chef kind of activity as a hotel management. What all the activity they do, the same activity they are performing there, right? So that is one of the subdivision of your resort construction, right? So then we talk about the RCL, okay, Resayat Construction Limited. So that is, so we are going to make it, the construction related project they are going to update under the RCL. That is one of the subdivisions. So then there is a RITCO, RITCO. RITCO is one of the IT division, right? So this is completely taking care of, for the complete IT related services and procurement, and even they are getting some external project also. Even though RITCO is, so we can say 70-80% they are taking care of internal customer requirements. So maybe if any customer, maybe outside they want to build some IT infrastructure, or maybe they want to build some kind of server setup and everything, yes, they are going to do the services also. So as a consultant, we should know what are the maybe so procurement part. So generally what will happen, there is a procurement will be there. So there is a kind of productions, right? Here we will say as a services instead of production, services, right? So these services again, two different type of services. One is reside, they are going to do the services. So another one is the external subcontractor who is going to maybe some installations, right? So installations or something I need to give it to some freelancer. So what they will do, so we are going to procure, we have the agreement with the subcontractor, maybe based on the durations. So maybe through 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, right? So what will happen for the subcontractor? So we are not going to create every time purchase order. There is a, like, for example, there is a, if the company is recruiting for you as a consultant for the 3 months project or 6 months project, so are they paying? I mean, are they providing any PO for you? No, right? So they are going to give one particular offer letter. Yes, boss, your salary, monthly salary will be, let's say, for 1 lakhs, right? So every month you will get the 1 lakhs if you work for the weekly, let's say 21 days or maybe 22 days if you have. So you will have the salary will be, let's say, 1 lakh, right? So for executing that, so they are not giving any PO for you, right? So just a single offer letter. So there is a milestone based they are going to create it. Same thing, the Redco, what they do, they are giving, okay, for that, they are recruiting the subcontractor as a contract basis freelancer. So then every month you need to create as a framework order, right? So in SAP we call it as a framework order. So the framework order, directly you are going to put that, which cost center you want to consume, right? So which GL account, that the expenses account has to be mapped as a FICO point of view. We will put it in the direct posting in that PO. So then we will not do any kind of GRN. So every time we are going, every month they are going to raise the invoice, right, with reference to the framework order. So this invoice will be paid to that particular freelancer. So, okay, so this is just for ITCO point of view. So what are the process? So just I'm telling. So they are going to procure all the IT related products. So they are going to procure all the software, hardware. Maybe the software have, there is a warranty is there, right? License expiry is there. So we need to track it. So how we need to track those kind of license, right? So generally, as a we have the plant maintenance. So what we will do, so there is a spares and material. So we are going to go every spares and consumable material. There is a serial number profile will be activated in the plant data storage to view. So serial number profile will be maintained. So whenever we are going to procure any material, especially for the MS Office, or if any kind of servers or related kind of applications, so they have 1 year agreement or 1 year validity period. So we need, when we do the purchase order goods receipt, so I'll do the goods goods receipt. So system will generate the serial number. Let's say I have a MS Office, I have a, let's say 100 license, right? So serial number will be 1 to 100 will be there. So this 1 to 100 I need to maintain the where there is a warranty period has to be maintained. So again, this is completely from PM, just a single transaction. You need to put your material and your serial number, and what is the vendor, who maybe it's a MS, maybe it's a Microsoft Office, corporate INC or something. So then what is the validity period? Okay, so this is from 1st of September 2023 to so 31st of September 2024. So this validity period has to be maintained. So this is kind of the generally same thing for spares and consumable also. So when any kind of spare parts we are using, so especially for garage functionality, right? So garages also, they have a spares and consumable material they will procure. So in that all the spares don't have any validity, I mean warranty periods. So wherever the warranty is, sir, we need to maintain the serial number, and this serial number has to maintain material, serial number, and vendor, and the validity start period and end period, right? So based on that you can play. So whenever the validity is going to be complete 1 year, 1 month before, so I generated some customized reports, right? So the same, this is not only for PM, I'm just telling. So for example, you have records, and this asset is going to be expired, right? This is FI point of view also I can say. So when you are going to procure any asset, and this asset I need to maintain all the when this asset I procured, and when this asset is going to be what is the life period, right? Maybe 5 years or 10 years. So whenever, for example, laptop I have procured, that this period is, let's say, for 5 years. So after 5 years I need to scrap it. So before 5 years I need to send a notification to the mail to the IT department, right? So the IT team has to get the notification mail. So this asset is going to be expired. Same way, so either it's a spares and consumable, or either it is a MS Office kind of software related material. So these are all the functionality you can able to talk. So now you guys has to explore, right? So you should be a talkative, like in the all the business point of view, right? So not only from your module, you can talk about other module also. These are all the things we have integrated. So like that, even your FI you can talk. So in generally we have the assets for all the IT related product, we have the warranty. Yes, so we need to know, we need to track the warranty period. So for that, what happened in asset master, we are maintaining these all the fields. And whenever we every there is a, we have customized the program, there is a enhancements we have implemented. So anyway, we will discuss upcoming session those things and all, but just have idea. So we have a data, based on the data, what are the way we can able to distribute the output. So the distribution output is nothing but through mail notifications, or any kind of reports, or any kind of mail, the reports comes in the mail. So anything, right? Okay, so I touched in that asset, how the expiry, is happening, how tracking is happening, how the report you are getting. So finally, how the notification mail, to whom you are sending the mail. So generally, the IT department who is responsible to procure the materials, right? Yeah. So now next we move to yeah, I think we are in the preparation phase. Okay, so we talk about the RISE objects, right? So we have the RISE objects. So what are the RISE objects we are going to be implemented, right? So what are the forms we have implemented? So what are the reports we have implemented, and what are the gaps we have? So how you have identified and how you are address those gaps, and those things also we will discuss actually. But you can take these points also, right? And what are the enhancements you have done? So what is the complex enhancement, how you have achieved? So these are all the things definitely they will ask, but before they are asking, you try to have an answer, or you try to explain during the interview point of view. Don't expect they will ask those questions. Okay, so I'm touching, so this and the RISE part also but still we have a session is required for the receive. But everybody will understand, what all the forms, reports, enhancement in your module. So how you have addressed. So be ready for, that, receive point of view. So then we have the, we talk about the everybody we knows about the BPML process, how we have prepared, and every divisions also we discuss division wise what are the business process. Then you can talk about that. So then we will complete the Q gate process. Okay, this is a project management activity. So once all the deliverable is done, then they will close the phases. So then they will have the milestone billing, right? So we know how the milestone billing work, right? So they will raise the invoice to the client, and they will receive the money, right? So next we'll talk about the explore phase, right? So explore phase, what we will do, so we are going to do the workshop, right? So workshop is nothing but there is a we are going to demonstrating the business process, right? So we know what is the scope, we know what is the BPML process, we know what are the divisions, what are the business requirements they have. So based on that we are going to prepare the fit gap analysis. So the fit gap analysis is nothing but it contains about the detailed business process and what is the purpose of the process and what is the business flow diagram. So what are all the roles and responsibility, right? So when we talk about the business flow diagram, you have to specifically you have to tell your business process how the flow diagram you have designed and what are the roles and what role they have performed. When you talk about there is an accountant, right? So when they are creating the invoice in the FICO, so what is the role of accountant, right? What he is doing. So he is creating the invoice, then he is parking, then account manager is going to he is going to verify the invoice, finally he is going to post it, right? So then there is a bank, right? Bank said they are going to either you are going to pay or receive the money from the vendor and customer. So that is the way you have to talk about the fit gap analysis, right? So once we and here you should tell all the process. Okay, so these are all the things you have to put it in an Excel file as a fit gap analysis. What are the process, please write down, so that during the interview, so tomorrow if there is an interview you can able to talk more on that. Okay. So then we have the, we talk about next we have after that, fit gap, then we have the business blueprint creation preparations. So here we don't say as a single line I was involved in the blueprint session. So but how you know what is blueprint? So what does it contains? So the blueprint contains how many process, right? So it contains about the current business process, the blueprint which contains about the current business flow diagrams we have addressed. So then we talk about the what is the SAP to be process, that is we have designed as per SAP best practices. So then what is the to be process steps, right? What is the role based, what are the step by step process? So that is also we have addressed. So then what are the reporting requirements? So then we have what are the integrations, right? So how the process is integrated with the other module. So then what are the gaps? So how these gaps we have addressed, right? So like that every process we have addressed in the business blueprint. So the same way you have to talk about the interview. So 100%, so they will feel that okay, you they will have a confidence about you. Okay. So but more important, all the process you have to explain along with the detailed business, the process steps in the BBP. You have to explain about all the process. That's what I'm telling. In Excel file keep it all the process step as a BPML. You talk about these are all the process we have executed or we have designed the BBP. And yeah, this is my role actually in the BBP, so you can talk about that also. So then we have a data migration approaches, right? So we have a data migrations like we plan, right? For example, when we are talk about like uploading the master data, or when we talk about the cutover activities, right? So we will discuss these cutover activities also the upcoming days. So how we, what all the master data currently we have, like, we need to so every module their own cutover activities. So what is the sequential? So first, what is the master data you will upload, and second, what is the master data you will upload. So that that is more important. For example, there is a finance and controlling. So for example, we will upload the GL master. So what is the how many how many chart of accounts you have. So those things also I think you can able to answer for that, right? So what is the classification, how many GL groupings you have done? So liability or asset or expense or income. In the liability, how you have grouped your GLs and everything. So then you have to talk about your vendor master, right? So in FI, what are the type of vendor they have? Even though MM involved in, but still FICO, you have to explain about what are the different type of vendor account groups you have created. So why you have created so many vendor groups? Why don't single account group, right? Same thing for customer account groups also. So then there is asset master. What are the asset classification? You can talk about 10 to 15 asset classes. You can group it. So based on the our scope document, or you can talk about that. So then we have the like opening balances, right? So when we the cutover activities, so then MM said they will upload material master, vendor master, purchasing info record, if record source list, then open purchase order and initial stock. Same thing when it comes to FICO. So there is apart from your master data like a GL master, vendor master, customer master, asset master, bank master. So we have a GL opening balance, vendor opening balance, customer opening balance, asset opening balance. So these are all, so we need to be explained as a cutover activity, but still we have a separate we have a discussion about the cutover activity also. Okay. So next, yeah, so we talk about the master data point of view, then roles and authorizations. Okay, so authorization, roles and authorization, we know, so every process, what is the roles, right? Already we designed the flow diagram. So now we need to prepare one Excel file. So for example, accountant, as an accountant, what are the role? So what are the reports, right? What are the transaction? What are the reports, right? And as a account manager, what are the transaction code he will do? So if he is a approver, then there is a approval, inbox. We need to give the approval option. We need to provide to the manager. So there is a my inbox. So there is a app is there, or we will provide the authorization. He will get he will have action. He will do that. Approve or reject the that. The orders may be any kind of invoices or any kind of sales order or purchase orders, right? So then, so we will have yeah, so we will talk about the explore phase. So what I'm suggesting you, so we will stop here. So I don't want to rush up you. So still I think I need more than I mean 1 hours I need actually. So we will discuss about that, and we will continue our realization phase. So what all the activity we do, so what all the challenges we do. So rest of the things we will continue tomorrow, and maybe yeah. So if you have any questions, quickly we will discuss. So we will have maybe another 10 minutes. Yeah, we will discuss about that. Yeah, please. So till explore phase, I have explained. So even I have a recordable also. We will upload in the share folder. Please go through that. So why I'm telling you again and again. So see configuration, everything we can able to tell, right? So it doesn't mean I can say about I was in I done complete batch management configuration, but generic way we can talk about the no issues. Okay, but the concept is here. Now you are a consultant means you are giving a solution to the customer. So how you understand, so business point of view they will expect when you are talking about when I give a introduction of maybe over 30 minutes or 45 minutes I have discuss about the project, right? So when you talk about the same way you keeps on, you have to mentally you have to prepare yourself. Okay, so talk about the same industry, you take it and you write down that every division what all the process they have, so how these processes are interconnected, right? So just takes 4 to 5 process sufficient, don't put all the 30 40 process. So MM said tell me what are the process, so SD said what are the process, FS. So why I'm expecting you talk about other modules, so then they have a confidence this guy is involved in all the module integrations, right? If you talk about only for PP module, or if you talk about only for MM module, so they feel that okay, he looks like he needs some more experience is required. So they will feel that okay, he's working independently. So when you have the broad experience, or I mean broad knowledge, or the broad process oriented discussion, so then they will feel that okay, he have a good experience, and with not only his model, other model integration also he is talking, so like that. Okay, so we will discuss actually yeah, so the rest of the phases tomorrow we will have detailed sessions, and so that the same thing you can able to, and the interview point of view also. So whatever I'm just telling in detail I'm explaining. Okay, as a business blueprint how we can able to talk, I have given maybe more than 10 minutes I have explained. So as a business blueprint, right? So your blueprint which contains what all the content of your business blueprint, right? So the talk about the flow diagram. So like that every subtitle of the flow diagrams as a BBP I have explained. So in same way if you give an introduction or if you talk about the interview, so 100% they will have a confidence about you, And solution point of view, definitely that everybody can do the configurations, but the presentation point of view, how you are approaching, how you are going to give a give a overview or about the current client, and your the implementation project, and what are the deliverables you have done. So even 70 to 85 percentage, you have offer, you feel that okay, I can able to get the offer. Okay, so for this talk, you need to keep practice about that, hit down, and keep practice also. So then only you can able to get in all the area, you can able to talk about that. Okay, so now you can yeah, you can ask if you have any questions on that. Yeah, please.
Sir, this is Giri. Sir, I have many questions. Will come from first one. What will be the outcome of discover phase, sir? What will be the timeline? And what is the role of consultant in discover phase? Does discover phase has any Q gates? And I didn't understand exactly what does Q gate mean.
See, discover phase, yeah. So we discussed already. There is a, the business process, right? So we talk about the business process here. So high level, there is a business process. We are going to discuss about the, customer, and here there is like a, so what mostly is about the as is related process. So for example, so currently, as I told you, so what all the system currently they have, right? So what are the so definitely ASIS have all the divisions. So when it comes to SAP, I mean, to be processed, maybe some of the division we will keep it as phase one, phase two. But here, that how that ASIS and what are the business process currently they are going to do that, and what are the functions, it's happening, something when it comes to SAP, we will, so we can say that we will do all the automation and everything. But here, so there is some of the process, they will do, maybe they are using different system, right? As is point of view, they have, as I told you, there is a different system they might be using. So talk about the warehouse management, or maybe there is a kind of even billing also, when they will do all the kind of sales order and delivery. So billing will be created as a separate system. So these are all the process we need to be addressed in the discover phase, right? But the discover phase, this is not actually as the implementation consultant, so this is actually, I can say that there is a, the before, if the senior most people, I can say, so they will address those requirements actually. Okay, so as a consultant, so we can say there is a, along with the pre-sales also we can say. So those people will address those requirements. So when they are going to give the pre-sales activity, so they will address those requirements, right? So based on that, so as a consultant, okay, these requirements, yes, we can give a solution. This is available in SAP. So this solution, yes, we need to customize. So like that, the high level discussion will be there. Okay.
Sir, what is it? What just now you coined a term like automation, right? What does it mean, sir? In discover phase?
Automation.
Yes, yes.
See, automation. So yeah, see here, like so when they are expecting, let's say currently they are procure, there is asset process is there. Okay, so asset process, what will happen?
Is it
So
possible explaining PP prospecting? So,
okay, so PP point of view, if you say that like there is a automation. So for example, I can say there are two different systems. Okay, so what happens, so there is a w, they have a 3PL system. Okay, there is a warehouse management system is there. And so this warehouse management system, uh, okay, so this warehouse management system, so what happened, so they are going to uh, the complete team. So there is a complete, so we can say separate module. So there is a team, they are going to work on that. Okay, so whenever, so this system is not integrated to their, the main software, we can say there is a, they are using any kind of JD Edwards. So the JD Edwards is completely for the procurement, the front end, right? So all the finance entries will be there, all the procurement will be there, productions, yes. But what happened, there is a warehouse management functionality, they have a different 3PL systems. So from there, they are going to how they can able to address this, this kind of process. Talk about the the production process. So whenever they are going to create all the production order, so this production order has to be integrated to the warehouse management system. So how we are going to create, so whenever the production order is created, so immediately it has to flow to the WMS systems. Okay, so whatever will happen, so they will check that production order when they are going to execute. So based on that, they are going to issue the material, right? So procurement again they will take care, but how these two different system, how it will work. So all the production order, whatever the production orders are released, it will integrate it to that particular WMS system, and yeah, so WMS system, so they will, they are going to issue the material to that particular, reference to the production order. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyways, so
Dhanush.
this,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we will
agree.
discuss still more actually. So maybe if possible tomorrow, if maybe in any other times, you please let me know so we can able to discuss in detail. So still more, we will discuss. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Yeah.
Sir, that in this milestone Excel sheet, there is a RISEF objects. These RISEF object is we can able to see this RISEF objects in preparation phase, explore phase, and realization phase.
So yeah, yeah. So what we do? So yeah, I will explain you tomorrow. So why this, they are updated the RISEP in every phases. So
Yes, sir.
what they do actually, so that we will cover tomorrow actually. Okay. So definitely we'll connect again little early tomorrow. If possible, we will connect around 7:30. I will send a mail. So I think we need little more time. So we will make it around. So we'll start from 7 o'clock from tomorrow onwards, if possible. So everyone can. It's not like everyone have to join, but it will session will be continue. So that I think a lot of things we need to discuss actually. I told Srikant also. So we will have sessions start from 7 o'clock also. Okay. So we will connect from tomorrow. So still, other whatever the pending things we will discuss, and please come out. If you have any questions, also we will discuss like tomorrow.
Dhanush, I have a question with regard to the configuration which we discussed the day before yesterday.